Yo, this is Set with Set Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we got a lot to get into because we're gonna, well, go back over this whole MAGA civil war because now it's MAGA versus America first. We're gonna go ahead and get into this news about Trump pretty much about to withdraw out of NATO, and then, of course, some updates on the ceasefire that we hope gets solidified. Right. But all right, let's get right into it with CNN, and let's make sure we're double tapping that screen and liking the video, guys. Let's get right into it.
As for the ceasefire, the president is accusing Iran of doing dishonorable things and by holding up a big part of their apparent agreement, which would be opening the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway remains effectively closed, with only a handful of ships being able to get through since the pause was announced. And back here at home, Trump is unloading on Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones, all of whom have criticized him and the war, calling them low IQ and stupid nut jobs and troublemakers. Trump is claiming that their views are the opposite.
I ain't gonna lie, it was a very unhinged true social post, and I'm just like, hold on now. I'm sorry, but like these are like the biggest names that got you elected. I'm sorry, but it wasn't Mark Levin that got you elected. It really wasn't Ben Shapiro. I mean, it was Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Alex Jones. I mean, these guys, like, bro, Candace Owens alone got a bigger platform than all of those other guys combined. So it's kind of crazy how he's going off on them for, well, honestly, standing up for what they believe in, which was the America first or make America great again. Which I guess we got to separate and create two different groups now because MAGA got it effed up. Apparently, they stand more for Trump than for their values
of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide.
I don't know about you, but I am sick of this. I'm sick of it.
I feel you, sis.
Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Shut up about that. Damn. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization.
It is vile on every level. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait. How dare you speak that way on Easter morning to the country? Who do you think you are?
How do we 25th Amendment his ass? And if I was the Democrats, I'd stop poking Trump and messing with him. That only makes it worse. Like, you guys need to watch out. This isn't a guy acting like he's crazy. This is real.
Owens called Trump a genocidal lunatic, and she called for the 25th Amendment to be invoked. She responded to Trump's post tonight by saying it may be time to put up in a home. So President Trump is really struggling right now, trying pretty aggressively to shape the narrative. He appears to be talking to Iran through Truth Social. Not sure why that conversation can't happen in private. And then he is knocking down his one-time.
Because, I mean, this whole Iran thing is not going his way. I mean, think about it. Pete Hegseth, Caroline Leavitt, they sold this whole dream that, oh, Iran came groveling before us, begging for a ceasefire. Then Israel shatters that illusion by attacking Lebanon. And then Iran just closes the strait right back up. Right when we just got that ceasefire to get it open, thanks to Israel, it gets closed right back down, and it proves that Iran wasn't groveling, or else, well, they wouldn't have closed the strait again. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Allies, and trying to pretend as if he didn't talk to Tucker Carlson maybe about 6 weeks ago, if the New York Times is to be believed.
Well, listen, I think that montage was extremely fair. The president, the president and the people around him have a tendency to, not.
Oh God, do me a favor, double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen or smashing the like button, depending on how you're watching. Oh, and any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, you can go ahead and super chat it in. I'll be happy to read it out loud and post it to the screen. All right.
Apply a lot of discretion to the president's allies, regardless of who they are, what they say. And in this case, it has come back to bite them. That said, I don't know who their constituencies are. We know who the president's constituencies are. When it comes to this war, 80-90% of Republican voters, to say nothing of MAGA voters, self-described MAGA voters, support the war, whereas they do not. Who are they siding with? They're siding with the president. I think this ceasefire actually had some legitimacy to it. There was a value to seeing, well, Iran's position had softened. They were coming closer to us. Our position did not. We were conducting restrikes on targets we had already hit. It was time to get a breather and see if the diplomatic process could work. It hasn't worked. Over the course of the last 48 hours, this has become a unilateral ceasefire. If the president allowed.
Now, the reason why the ceasefire fell apart is because, well, yeah, according to the Pakistani prime minister, the prime minister of Pakistan, and Iran that Lebanon was on the table when during that 10-point peace plan, or the 10-point their 10-point demands. They said, yeah, gotta include Lebanon as part of this ceasefire. So AKA, you can't attack Lebanon, you can't attack Yemen, you can't attack us. That's literally what is said in the proposal for the ceasefire. And for some reason, like, and us in America, we're just playing stupid as if they didn't say that. And remember, there's like 3 parties. Remember, there's us, Iran, Pakistan. 2 parties out of 1 is pretty much saying Lebanon was included. So I'll just leave that to your own discretion at that point. All right.
Allows that to stand. It is a huge embarrassment for him, for the nation, and a sacrifice of American hegemony. That'll frustrate the podcasters. I don't think he cares.
But I mean, you seem to be kind of actually making a bit of their point, which is that where we are right now is not great. I mean, we have a ceasefire that only one party is adhering to, which is us, the United States. Meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Meanwhile, Israel is continuing strikes in Lebanon. Yep. Meanwhile, Arab allies are also experiencing strikes. So where does that really leave us in terms of real progress? And by the way, we have no idea what the points are. Okay, they're 10 points. Maybe they exist.
Maybe since Israel broke the ceasefire, yes, the Strait of Hormuz has now been closed. There's been attacks on some of the Gulf states. So yeah, how did these guys come groveling again if they're still doing the same stuff that's pissing us off on the daily? Like, please explain that without trying to call me un-American or you just have TDS, because I promise I don't. I promise. Like I said, I was campaigning for this man Trump. So I'm just being real with you guys. What they're saying don't match up to reality.
We don't know what they are, but they do seem pretty far apart in terms of what the United States wants and what Iran is willing to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it doesn't take an expert in contract law to know that both sides of an agreement need to have the same understanding of what the agreement is. And it doesn't seem like that's the case here, nor does the public. And so we're in this really interesting position where the win is some agreement with Iran that gives them way more leverage than they had at the beginning in terms of controlling the strait. And I think what the administration is learning now is that firepower doesn't always win.
Now, they're jumping a bit. I ain't gonna lie, they're jumping the gun a bit. But the problem is that Iran, and here's the problem. In Iran's proposal, they pretty much said that they want to be able to charge $2 million per ship to go through the strait. And yeah, that's pretty much them regulating the strait. And they want to use that for reparations to, for them and Oman. And that's the problem. And the problem with that is like, hold on. So everybody's going to be paying a fee. And it wasn't like this before the strikes. And now, AKA, you're telling me because we attack Iran, now they got control of the strait and now they're making more money than ever? Like, how did this work out for us again? How is this a W? Like, can you please explain this? Nobody really can.
When you're fighting a war that is based and turns on geography of a region and diplomacy and things that get solved without bombs, but actually with nuance and agreements and international relations, he's gutted a State Department that could help him with that. And I think he's just sort of disabled himself from being able to deal with it properly.
What is, do either of you think that there is a constituency or an explanation for why the Megyn Kellys and the Tucker Carlsons are willing to?
Oh, and shout out to my man Jet for starting us off. He says, Trump just got heated over them goddamn Lego videos, LOL, and Democrats talk reckless about panicking. Yeah, low key, the panicking. But yeah, panicking Iran in the past too. It is what it is on that part. Now, honestly, though, I mean, bro, Hillary Clinton's on camera talking about, yeah, I'm going to bomb Iran. I want to go to war with Iran. Honestly, bro, the Biden and Kamala Harris, like, these guys are talking about getting into it with Russia. I mean, bro, they wanted to jump Russia with NATO. So to be quite honest with you, we voted for Trump because he promised no new wars. Kamala, the Dems in our face was pretty much telling us that, look, Putin is this big bad guy that we got to go all in on. We seen where that was going. So don't act like y'all wasn't pulling that on us. So we went with the supposed no war candidate, sadly, just to end up in war with Iran. The only good thing about this choice is that they're not a nuclear powered. Yet, God forbid, of course. Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen. All right.
To, if Noah is correct, sacrifice a portion of their audience with a message that maybe they don't want to hear.
I mean, maybe they took the president at his word when he campaigned against doing, wars in the Middle East. I mean, his entire criticism of George Bush was a failed war in the Middle East, and that was a waste.
I mean, destroyed Jeb Bush over it. Like, got on Obama's ass, pretty much saying, well, look, if you get into war with Iran, you're the worst president ever. That means you can't negotiate. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Trump might have been the real reason why Obama got Iran into the JCPOA. Obama going like, oh, you want to talk about me? All right, bet. I won't go to war with Iran. I'm gonna get him in this deal. You know, for all we know, Trump might be the cause of JCPOA with all that ish talking he be doing. But you gotta love it. But the main point is that throughout the years, Trump has had an anti-war stance all the way up to him getting elected for his first term and second term. He had that anti-war stance. You can go ahead and bring up a an interview in the 80s. That's great. But guess what? That's before our tragic operations in the Middle East, which is the reason why we don't want to be into this with Iran. Because every time we get into the Middle East, we never really get any good results, but we sure do lose a lot, though. I'll tell you that.
Of American prestige and how it was essentially, we sacrificed our soldiers for nothing and we ended up losing American dignity and respect in the global order. That was, it's not what I said. It's what Donald Trump said to gain power in the Republican Party. And, I am not a fan of any of the people who are criticizing him, but I think maybe what united Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and Alex Jones, people I vehemently disagree with, is that they actually took the president at his word. And they're just another group of people who've been suckered by this guy who lied to them to their face.
I don't think they've been suckered. I mean, my thing is that
No, and here's the problem with it, though. It's just like, she's being a bit reasonable. This girl is not going to be reasonable at all. But let's be quite honest here. Yeah, he's had an anti-war stance, and it's kind of crazy how a good part of MAGA is playing in our face right now, trying to gaslight us, trying to act like he never had that stance. Talking about like, oh, well, what you mean he always wanted to go to war with Iran? Y'all want to bring up an interview in the 80s, but I can bring you up an interview from like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, this man pretty much saying the opposite. So who we going to go with? What he said in the 80s or what he said 10 years ago in 2016? All right, then.
Megan's saying, I'm sick of this. Why can't he just act like a normal human? And I'm like, he can't act like a normal human. That's why so many of us worked against him being elected, because we knew that he would have an itchy trigger finger if you gave him a big red button to push. We knew that he was erratic. We knew that he would be not right for this role, which is why so many of us worked to not have him elected. So these people either didn't realize that he was crazy and dangerous, which most of us did, or they didn't care. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, hold on. If he actually nukes 90 million people, there's going to be blowback on us. And this is crazy and he can't do it. But we've been saying this for forever.
I know, but I think everybody who took him at his word made a mistake. I agree.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to do it. I'm like, he's most likely trying to get them to come to the table or he's going to back off. Like something in me. I'm like, he won. The way he said it was crazy. Like the language that he used was outrageous. But in all honesty, I didn't see Trump actually going out there and nuking Iran. And if anything, I thought he was just about to start like hitting these guys with hella missiles. If anything, I didn't think he was actually going to nuke them. But when he said the end to a civilization, I'm like, well, damn, how do you achieve that but with a nuke? Like, that's the only way I can see to end a civilization with nukes.
I thought he was...
Or biological weapons, but, there's that. Biological weapons work.
Would do terrible things like this. But I'm just saying, when you're asking, why would they possibly, take him on because it could hurt them? It's like let's imagine that they actually think he was like not lying to his face through everybody.
I can't get into their heads, but I do want to play this Tucker Carlson bite from 2024, December.
I mean, shoot, it's easy. Look, when the Biden administration was sitting there and telling you guys, yes, you Dems right there, that the economy was the best it's ever been, even though it was at 9% inflation. And I mean, bro, in 2022, and the stock market took one of the biggest dips ever, and y'all just sat there in our face and told us that this was the best economy ever, and y'all believed it. And then when it all came crashing down on you, we had the same reaction. We was like, yo, I mean, Dems, you didn't see this? What was going on? Like, oh, we were just believing in Biden. Yeah, well, now you know how we feel a little bit. Yeah, I know. Now you know how we feel. Did Biden run on open borders? No, he didn't, did he? But he sure did open up them borders now. I mean, did he run on high spending and causing inflation? No, he didn't, but it happened. And when we try to call it out, y'all want to BS us. Y'all want to be in disbelief about it. So spare me. I mean, come on now.
2024, because it's about who he thinks Trump is. And I'm sure plenty of people at this table might disagree with his read on it.
I would say Trump voters, like Trump himself, are really forgiving people. They don't seek revenge. They seek some measure of justice because the human heart longs for justice, but they don't seek to grind their enemies under their feet. That's what the left does.
You know, it's crazy. I'll let him have the I told you so, but I'm always going to say this. Look, what did you want me to? So what? You rather me shill? You rather me go against my beliefs and just shill for Trump? Is that what you rather me, bro? I ain't gonna lie. I'd rather a Dem tell me I told you so than me to go along with something I don't believe for money or for likes. I'd rather take the I told you so from the Dems than to go against my values. So I'll take it. If you want to hit me with the I told you so, sure. But I ain't shilling for shit. I'll tell you that right now. And shout out to my man Jet. He says, Dems, quit acting like y'all shit don't stink because of this. Literally, though. It's like, come on now. Come on. Biden was selling y'all sweet nothings too, bro. Y'all wasn't even willing to believe that the man was in mental decline when he was literally forgetting shit right in front of y'all face. Please. Don't hit us with this whole, oh, well, you should have listened to us. Bro, you should have listened to us when we told you this man was in mental decline. But then you called us ages. So please, like I said, cut the BS.
A fair amount of projection.
But we'll let you have y'all moment, though.
In there. Tucker Carlson has done this game for years now, right? I mean, not only is this, I think, the fourth or fifth time he's proclaimed World War III was about to break out, but he tries to maintain this dialogue with the president, thinking he can have influence. And I actually think it's pretty admirable that the president is like, I have pretty hardcore beliefs on this. You talk about Iran. Donald Trump's been saying the same thing since the early 1980s.
No, he hasn't.
He is a broken record when it comes to the threat that...
Well, all right, well, why are you lying? Why are you lying? And all right, guys, that's it. I'm about to play this. Do I still have... Yeah, I still got the video. All right, I'm about to play this. And this is a quick little clip. It's like little 4 minutes. We're going to take a quick little break. Go ahead and take a little bathroom break and watch the little clip. But yeah, I'm about to show you this clip of pretty much what Trump told us and what he did. Because it's kind of crazy how people, when, like I said, bring up an interview from the 80s, but we're just supposed to forget what he said current day. Like, you understand how stupid of an argument that is? But, okay.
Hey, President Trump, how are those mass deportations going?
They said, you got to lighten up on this. We have a lot of heart for people. They came in illegally, but they're good people, and they're working now on farms.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
Oh. Well, surely no new wars in the Middle East like you've campaigned on for years, right?
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. You're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. The United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
Donald Trump issued an ultimatum to Iran: open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours or America will attack their power plants.
Why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
So we're in very good shape, but we want to be in the best shape.
Oh. So why are we going to war with Iran again?
You know, if we didn't do that B-2 attack, Israel would have been wiped out. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks after that.
Because Israel was determined to act with or without the U.S., our Commander-in-Chief and the administration and the officials I just named had a very difficult decision to make.
Miriam gave my campaign, indirectly and directly, $250 million. She was number one. Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. But they were very responsible for so much, including getting me thinking about Golan Heights.
Oh. Well, I'm sure there will be zero repercussions for this war, and it's probably only going to go on for like a week, right?
As we head into week 4 of this war. As gas prices climb across the country, President Trump pressured allies to help secure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. A major shipping route for oil has effectively been shut down amid this war, sending shockwaves through the markets, with gas jumping nationwide from an average of $2.92 in Kansas to more than $5 a gallon in California.
Look, gas prices are up. and we know they're up, and we know that people are hurting because of it.
Well, at least we as the MAGA movement still collectively agree that child transitioning is wrong, right? Okay, how about those Epstein files?
Sir, so this is a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. What this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party had. But don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump? To flag any records which included his name?
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this.
Oh. Well, it kind of seems to me like the Republican president has slowly transitioned into a Democrat president. Hey, MAGA, why are we voting for these people again? One thing is certain. We didn't leave MAGA. MAGA left us. But the question is, are we going to allow that? Or are we going to take the reins from the man who started it all, but has sadly become the opposition to everything that we stand for? Or are we going to continue to lick the boot and bend the knee to people who don't give a shit about us? They use us for our vote. They lie directly to our faces. They protect child predators. They want to grant mass amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. And now they're totally fine with children being mutilated and indoctrinated by their crazy-ass liberal parents. Fuck Trump, fuck Vance, fuck Rubio, fuck the Republican Party as a whole, fuck the Democrats, fuck them all. This is not the shit that we signed up for. Wake the fuck up.
And shout out to my man Shattering Illusions. You know, I had to play that video again because he was cooking. Like, come on now. Like, all the promises, all of them, he's walking back now. And I've been a patient guy. I waited for a while to speak out, but there's only so much I can see before I'm just like, all right, guys, come on now. He's bullshitting us. He's bullshitting us right now. And for some reason, people are refusing to see it. So guess what? We're about to go through it. But let's get back to our guys at CNN.
Iran posed. And I guess I'm just the panel's Pangloss here because I think that things will work out fine.
Oh man, shout out to my man Jet. He's like, no, I want to take the moment away. Still up 8-1. I'm done. I'm gonna say he's like, no, I want to take a moment away. Still up 8-1. No wars. I mean, you know, yeah, stop 8 wars, start 1 war. Even though some of those conflicts pop back off.
I trust the plan.
It's possible we could get out of this, but it's hard to see from here because this ceasefire that we have is actually, we see that they have continual control. He's yelling, he's upset about it, but we are not bombing and they still have control.
They didn't gain that power. They've had that power. We're just seeing them willing to exercise it. And at any point,
they were never willing to exercise it before the war.
They shut down the strait.
Yeah, but let's be real though. The strait was open for a while now. I mean, a long time. And then one day it became closed. And you want to know why it became closed? Because we attacked Iran. Like, bruh. Preemptive strike, by the way. AKA, we are the aggressors in this war. So, yeah. It's kind of because of Trump's actions, through the Army's actions, that the strait is closed. That's just what it is. Stop acting like they were just going to do it any day, just one day randomly, just like y'all say with the whole 2 weeks away from a bomb. Y'all been saying that for years. And now what? Is this the new 2 weeks away? I mean, what? They're just one day away from closing back the strait, guys. Really now? Okay. Yeah, okay.
Ended up by force.
So when I was in 7th grade,
This is a great decision. Right now, what is happening?
Right now, we have
happening?
the dominant military in the region. We are able to call the shots on this, not on the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. We could do it if we so wanted to. It would take more blood and more treasure. But there is, yes, the the ceasefire is fragile. It's a concept of a ceasefire. But the number one point is, okay, you got 10 points, you got 15 points. The gaslighting is the fact that the U.S. is losing, that we're somehow defeated.
We
in all
are
this.
losing. You can't say this is a complete victory.
Achieved our strategic objective.
I'm gonna wait to I'm gonna wait till see what happens here. Let's see what happens with this ceasefire, if there is a ceasefire, and let's see where things go before we say that we're losing. All I'm gonna say is that Israel just pretty much embarrassed us, completely embarrassed us. That's all I gotta say. And that's apparently our greatest ally. So I want y'all to take that into mind. Greatest ally embarrassed us on the world stage.
$1 billion civilians. The counterpoint to what you're saying from the Wall Street Journal op-ed is that declaring victory is premature. They say Trump has achieved some of his war aims, but the Iranian regime remains a threat in the Strait of Hormuz, and the job is far from finished, despite what he promised last week. The unfortunate truth is that Trump put himself in this position. His inconsistent rhetoric on the war, claims of victory.
Do me a favor and double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen, and make sure to subscribe to the channel while you're at it.
Amid threats of unleashing hell and its end to Iran's civilization raised global fears and undermined support at home and abroad. And Trump hated this op-ed so much that he sent out a Truth Social post saying the journal is the worst and inaccurate. He said there's nothing premature about this victory. One of the reasons I think people believe that they're declaring victory is because literally they were declaring victory yesterday. And then the president late last night, he says, in the meantime, while they're waiting for the Strait of Hormuz to be opened, our great military is loading up and resting and looking forward actually to its next conquest. Is he just moving on?
This is just
to the next thing.
This is totally mad. These are like the rantings of a mentally ill
Strait ain't
person.
open.
And so, the idea that you have soldiers and American troops who are just sort of waiting for him to make a decision on his whim. If you had like an elderly neighbor that was posting those things, you would probably do a welfare check on them and say, I hope you don't have access to weapons because you seem very unwell.
All right, lady.
And this is
all right. Yeah, TDS it up. It's okay. Go ahead, Dems. Have y'all day. All right, let's go ahead and get over to the next video here. But I do want to go ahead and play this one clip real quick because shout out to Both Side News, because he did a pretty great clip or a pretty great video on pretty much how Trump got pretty much persuaded into this war. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it right now, guys. Make sure you double tap the screen and like the video.
All right, BB, what do you got for me? Mr. President, the time is now. The Iranians are weak, and a joint U.S.-Israeli mission could finally bring an end to the Islamic Republic. Our intelligence says Iran's ballistic missile program could be destroyed in a few weeks. We can kill their leaders, and they'd be so weak and they could not choke off the Strait of Hormuz. And the likelihood of them landing blows against U.S. interests in neighboring countries is low. How would we effectuate the regime change? Street protests inside Iran would begin, and with the help of Mossad, we would foment riots and rebellion. Iranian Kurds could also assist. Mr. President, this is the time. Thanks, BB, for your presentation. My team and I will discuss. Can we get our intelligence people to look into this? We have broken down Mr. Netanyahu's presentation into 4 parts. 1, decapitation, which is killing the Iranian supreme leader. 2, crippling Iranian capacity to project power. 3, a popular uprising in Iran. And 4, regime change. It is our assessment the first 2 objectives are achievable with American might, while the 3rd and 4th parts are detached from reality. Just to summarize, Mr. President, regime change is farcical. In other words, Mr. President, it's bullshit. I would say regime change could happen, but it shouldn't be considered an objective. Yeah, I would advise against all this greatly. General Kane, what do you think? Sir, this is, in my experience, standard operating procedure for the Israelis. They oversell and their plans are not always well developed. They know they need us, and that's why they're hard selling. Okay, got it. Regime change would be their problem, but if we do this, it would be to kill their leaders and decapitate their military. Mr. President, any major campaign against Iran would drastically deplete our stockpiles with no clear path to replenishing. The Strait of Hormuz is also a real risk. Really? I think the regime would capitulate before it came to the Strait. I'm thinking this could be a very quick war, just like the 12-day war in Venezuela. Mr. President, I think we should do it. I'm more ambivalent. I don't think the Iranians will agree to a negotiated deal, but I prefer a campaign of maximum pressure rather than a full-scale war. I have concerns, but I defer to others on this topic. I think this is the worst idea ever, and I prefer no strike, but if we're going to do it, it should be limited. I think we're going to do it. If that's so, use overwhelming force so our objectives are achieved quickly. Yeah, I hear you. Hold on, Tucker Carlson's calling. Hello? Mr. President, don't start a war with Iran. I know you're worried about it, but it's going to be okay. How do you know? Because it always is. All right, team, we got a new piece of intelligence that the Iranian supreme leader will be at an above-ground meeting with other top officials wide open for an air attack. I think we have to do this. this. Thoughts? Well, Mr. President, here's what the attack will look like from a military perspective. You know, I think this is a bad idea, but if you want to do it, I'll support you. If you feel this is needed for America's national security, go ahead. It is pretty rare to have the Iranian supreme leader and other top leaders in a gathering spot we can strike, so if you define regime change as just killing the supreme leader, we can probably do that. The plan put forward is legally permissible. But what's your personal opinion? I'm a Marine veteran, sir, who knows people killed by the Iranians, so if Israel intends to proceed regardless, we should go ahead. Mr. President, this would be a public relations nightmare. The American people voted for you partly for no new wars. It's your decision, Mr. President, and the press team will manage it as best as we can. We have to take care of the Iranians eventually, might as well now. There's many risks, but if you order the operation, we will execute. If our goal is regime change or an uprising, we shouldn't do it, but if the goal is to destroy Iran's missile program, that's a goal we can achieve. All right, we're doing it.
And yeah, that's pretty much how it went according to the article. And somebody was in that room and heard the entire debate. And that's how the debate went, pretty much. There were guys who were all for it. There was guys who was on the edge. There was guys like Trump, we'll do it if you want, but I'm be real with you. This ain't going to be easy. So, and I'm telling you, it ain't going to be easy. And Trump's like, come on, we got the best army in the world. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Look, we do, but this is Iran we're talking about. If you think this is going to be an easy win, I mean, it may, but it most likely won't. And so I hear you, but man, set it off anyway. And you know, here we are today. Ta-da. But all right, though, shout out to my man Jay.